Good morning. Good morning. This is Henry Harris, and I'm the author of the book Facing Our Wounds. I've been enjoying coming to you every week to discuss the book. As you know, every week there's 10 chapters in my book, so every week I'll come and elaborate on each chapter. I think we have four more chapters to go, chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we'll start on chapter 7 next week. And this week, we're going to go into session 6, chapter 6 of my book, which is called Am I Bleeding on the Wrong People? Woo! That is a good chapter. Am I bleeding on the wrong people? If you're watching right now, take a second and hit the share button. Share this video with your friends. This is something that I do every week. And pretty much gets you into the mind of the author and why I wrote the book. I just hope it's a tremendous blessing to you as it is to me. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you who have taken the time to order the book. I've been doing television appearances. Many people have been gracious to allow me on their platforms to interview me about the book. I'm just very grateful, and to God be the glory for all the great things he has done in regards to the book. So, as you know, I read portions of each chapter. I don't read it all because, as I always say, if I read it all, you won't buy the book. So I just read portions of each chapter. In chapter 6, I highlighted bleeding on the wrong people means if you don't heal from the hurt other peoples have caused, you'll bleed on people who've never hurt you or who have never cut you. Unfortunately, this happens in friendships, it happens in relationships, marriages, work connections, churches, and more. When we are wounded, we tend to project our pain onto other people. And the question is that fair? That's all what bleeding on the wrong people is that you have been so wounded and traumatized and hurt that you are unwilling to deal with your own pain. So as a result of you not wanting to deal with your own pain and your own hurt, you start to project your pain and your hurt onto other people. Watch this, who've never cut you, who have never hurt you. And I think that's a valid question to ask. Is it fair to do that to someone? I think we've all have bleed on people who haven't hurt us or who haven't cut us. So that's why it's very crucial and vitally important that we get healed from whatever it is that has wounded us. Because if we're not careful, we take these wounds into the next marriage. We take these wounds into the next friendship. We take these wounds into the next relationship. And you'll start to not only project your pain onto other people, you'll start to view everybody else as a problem. Or you'll think they're hurting me. Well, maybe they're not hurting you. Maybe you have some internal emotions and pain inside of you that you haven't came to terms with. So you get to the place where you say, I'm not going to deal with my pain, so I'm going to project it on someone else. Now, you may not say that, but in all actuality, that's what you're doing. I've done it. I've done it in friendships. I've done it in relationships. I didn't know at the time. I didn't realize I was doing that. It is possible that you can be so traumatized where you can take that pain and trauma into the next phase of your life instead of dealing with it. We start to project our pain onto other people. It took me a long time to realize that I was never the problem, they were. And there could have been times where maybe I was a problem. But a lot of people who project their pain onto other people, they will always view you as an issue. How many understand what I'm saying this morning? They will always view you as a problem. They will always view you as an issue. You're the problem. You're the issue. They never take full ownership. They always want you to apologize. How many of y'all been in some connections like that before? This is what my book talks about. They always view you as you don't need to be connected to people like that. If you're in a relationship with someone or a connection with someone and they always see you as a problem, You need to detach yourself from those type of people. That's not healthy. Some people create deeper wounds and do not help you heal. Everyone that comes into your space, I always say place, your space and your place, is not coming to help you in your healing process. There are some people that come in your life, they're not coming to help you. They're coming to add to the trauma that you've already experienced. They're coming to add more wounds to the wounds that you've already experienced. So many people today think that they may know what's wrong with you. We have a lot of Dr. Phils out there. They try to self-righteously judge you and tell you there's something wrong with you. You need help. When in reality, they have no clue what you're struggling with. But everything that they're saying is a reflection not of you, but of their own trauma that is unresolved and that they do not want to deal with. You cannot, and this is very important, you cannot address your wounds with an individual who thinks they don't have any. Do you understand what I just said? Put that in the comments. Type this in the comments. You cannot address your wounds with someone who thinks they don't have any. It's a waste of time. You cannot share your wounds with someone who thinks they don't have any, or thinks they don't have a problem, or thinks that they're good. You can't address your wounds with someone who's always sees you as a problem and unwilling to admit their own faults and their own failures and their own insecurities. I don't know about you, but it's a waste of time. And I've done that in the past, and I will never do that again. Stop opening up to people who are not opening up to you. Stop opening up to people who view you as a problem. Stop opening up to people who view you as an issue, because they're not helping you or the situation. What they're doing is, instead of helping you to heal, they're actually adding to the wounds that you already have. You're trying to get healed, but you can't get healed making the wrong connections and making the wrong moves with people. That's where discernment comes in, where you say, you know what? What if I'm not the problem? What if I'm not the issue? What if there's something that's in them that's trying to trigger me? How many understand what I'm trying to say today? In some relationships, when others bled on me, I quickly recognized what was going on. I haven't always recognized it, but I did. I started to ask myself, what if something deeper is going on beneath the surface? What if it's not you, Henry? What if the response is coming from a place of brokenness and hurt? Discernment is key and will save you a lot of not only headache, but heartache. Discernment is key. You have to ask yourself that. Don't let nobody convince you that you're the problem. Don't let nobody convince you that you hurt them, when in reality, you know you didn't hurt them. They were hurt. Let me tell you something. When somebody comes in your life and they try to act like that you hurt them and you traumatized them and you know you didn't, they're projecting their pain onto you. You have to use discernment and say, no, I didn't do that. Another part of this chapter, I talk about what a true apology is. You know, a lot of people say, I'm sorry. Have you ever said that before? I'm sorry should always be associated with changed behavior. Not just saying I'm sorry should be associated with changed behavior. That's something you should put in the comment section too. Or you'll find yourself hurting others or bleeding on someone again. I used to say the same thing. I used to say I'm sorry as a response to no longer having to deal with the hurt I caused in someone's life. But that is not a true apology. How many know that? That's not a true apology. Telling someone, oh, I'm sorry. For some people, those are just words. You know what a true apology is? A true apology is actually taking full ownership of what you've done. If I know I've wounded you, if I know I've hurt you, if I know I projected my pain onto you, I'm going to admit it and I'm going to say, you know what? I've hurt you. Don't stop right there. This is how I hurt you. here goes the change behavior. I will never do that again. Will you forgive me? Not just throwing the words out, I'm sorry, because those words are just words. They're just words that goes out in the air and hits the ground. A true apology is always taking ownership of what you've done, not quoting things like, if I've done something wrong. Because when you say if you've done something wrong, you're actually not only trying to manipulate the person, you're actually manipulating the situation at best. I put this analogy in my book. If I went out right now and let's say I took a rock and just threw it into somebody's car in their window, and let's say my conscience ate me alive and I went and they said, did you do this? And I say, well, I didn't do it. Then I finally owned up to it. Well, if I hit your window with that rock, well, the reality of it is I know I did it. And there's no ifs about it. So when you say, if I've done something wrong, when you know in your mind that you did do something wrong or hurt someone or wounded someone, that's actually called pure manipulation, where you're trying to manipulate the situation instead of taking full ownership of what you've done. I'm not just talking about something I heard. I'm telling you something that I've done myself. There's been times I've manipulated situations. I wouldn't know what to call it at the time. But now I'm to the place in my life where I'm like, why lie? Why manipulate a situation? Just tell the truth. And I've said this time and time again. Confession simply means I tell the truth. And oftentimes we don't want to tell the truth about ourselves and about where we're at in our struggles because we got fear of retaliation. Will they accept me? Will they walk away? You cannot worry about how they're going to react to the truth that you share. I had to learn that a true apology looks like this. I was the one who hurt you. This is what I did. I will never do it again. I blame you for my own personal hurts that I was unwilling to deal with, and it wasn't your fault. It takes a strong and courageous person, to admit when they're wrong. This is not a gender thing. This is for both male and female. You admit what you did was wrong. I had to decide to choose familiarity or change. Sometimes we don't change because we are familiar or comfortable with that connection, person or environment, but I choose change. That part of the chapter I'm talking about basically talks about listening to the wrong voices. Sometimes when you're trying to heal, you got to be cautious the voices that you're listening to. Those voices that says that abuse is normal. To be traumatized is normal. You always have to live with it. You always have to deal with it. You have to ask yourself, do I choose familiarity over change? I don't know about you. I won't change. I don't want to go back to that which is comfortable. I don't want to go back to that which is familiar. I want true change. And the only way you can have true change is that you have to make the first step. I don't want to go back to that which is familiar. And it's easy to do that. We should never normalize that. I mentioned that word projection quite a bit, or to project, and I want to give you the definition of that. The word projection is a psychological defense mechanism in which individuals attribute characteristics to find unacceptable in themselves to another person. Did you hear that? To another person. To cut it short, they're just unwilling to deal with their unresolved pain and trauma. Don't let that be you today. You need to go and order my book right now. Go to Amazon.com, order this book. You need to read all the chapters. Chapter 6, what I'm talking about, is really, really good. I've only scratched the surface, and I'm going to have to let you go. I only scratched the surface, but I really believe it's going to bless you. And many people have been blessed by the book. Once again, go to Amazon.com, order the book, Facing Our Wounds. If you want a signed copy, you have to order directly through me. You can message me via Messenger. And I hope you enjoyed that. Don't bleed on someone today. If you know you're traumatized, if you know you're in pain, don't move to the next phase of your life projecting all your hurt and pain and struggles on other people. Deal with that yourself. Like I always say, give yourself the grace to heal and just get the healing that you need. Don't put your pain and problems on someone else. That's something that you have to deal with. You know how you do that? Looking into the mirror of your own heart. And that's where it starts. I hope you enjoyed that. And join me next week for chapter 7. We're going to be talking about creating a safe place for the wounded. And my God, don't we know we need to create a safe place for those who are hurting? Because quite frankly, we don't see much of that happening today. So God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. Have a wonderful week. Hit the share button right now. Let's get this word out there. Let's not bleed on people, especially those who have never cut you.